to wish our dear friend Patti good luck on this, her last day of service as an official employee of the Bryant Library. Funny coincidence, but today also happens to be the anniversary of the sinking of the Titanic. And I have to tell you, Patti, that I am having trouble hearing if the band stopped playing. Because of all the yelling that I get in my ear on a daily basis. So I really wasn't sure where I was going to go with that, so I decided to stop before I went any further. I'm glad to see that Norman's here, which only says one thing to me, that Ralph found a way to make some overtime. And then on a strange bit of fate, I heard from Donovan yesterday. And then after praising Patti for several minutes, that's when I knew he was up to something. He asked me if there were any job openings. He wanted me to apologize to Patti for him, and I don't know if anybody knows this, but he told me, Patti, to tell you that he meant to throw out his Subway sandwich wrapper that day that he left it on your keyboard. But while he was enjoying one of his many breaks, a patron came into your office and yelled at him for not putting soap in the bathroom. So that prevented him from throwing that out. He didn't realize, though, that the wrapper was going to smell so much because none of the garbage ever did in the pails that he left half full. And then, much to my chagrin, I got another call from the past. And while he was lounging on his couch in his underwears, Vinny told me to wish Patti the best. He also said a lot of other things, but like the scene in Animal House, decorum prevents me from saying them here. And actually, quite frankly, anywhere else. That's the private phone call after the meeting. So, and again, I heard another familiar thing. He was sad to see Patti going, but he was hoping that it was Leo, because he wanted his job back. You know, he told me he would be happy to even work the 10 hours, and I told him that was about all he did anyway. And as you've all guessed, things are going to be really different for me now. Patti and I have come a long way since that first day when she told me that if I got out of line, she was going to throw me out the window. So, throw me out the window, huh? I put on so much weight here, she'd be lucky if she could push me down the stairs. Our office was always a unique place, and we lived through a lot up there, including wasp invasions from the ceiling, water dripping into the light fixtures, that awful replacing of the carpet, and the sound of computer backups beeping. Water pouring out of the urinal like a waterfall, and down the stairs, and we even got that occasional scream from across the hall, "Hey, there is no toilet paper." That's right. Well, I didn't want to blame Leo for that, so, and it's funny, people always said that we acted like a married couple. My office wife, so to speak. I don't know what made people think that. Was it all the times that Patti called me an idiot? Wait, actually, that was Joan that said that. Or when she asked me if I knew what I was doing, I'm sorry, I'm slipping. That was Joan, too. And I think Joyce. She did yell at me a lot about the men's room, and it's overused by the 4 guys that were in the building. I don't know where she expected anybody to go. And when she wasn't yelling at me about that, she was doing a pretty good job cursing out the computer during newsletter time. So, as I think about it, actually we really hardly fought, so I guess we really didn't remind anyone of a married couple at all. We did laugh, though. We have laughed about so much and so many people over the last 14 years, I wouldn't even know where to start. But I will tell you that nobody was safe, including ourselves. But yeah, things will be different. Patti will be gone. Joyce will no longer come up to yell at me about how she doesn't turn in her slips or her inability to use easy labor. Patti always told me that people, and it's funny, Patti always told me that people were always looking for me. Well, I got news for you. People were always looking for you, too. I'm no longer going to have the Pilates people yelling, complaining to me about the smell of smoke wafting into the kitchen area. And I'll no longer hear the phrase, "Hey, bud, I'm coming," about 3 floors below me on the stairs. I can't can't believe you waited for the elevator to get fixed to announce your retirement. And on the other side of things, it'll be good. I'm no longer going to have all the departments asking me where their stuff is. And then, of course, then Roseanne left, but Patti was also always good at making lunch plans with me and other people, and then mysteriously not showing up. In fact, one day she left a friend and I sitting at Ben's while she was at Burger King across the street. And the priceless moment of that was when she did finally, after we called her and she came over, she told the waitress, "Don't worry about it, I'm just going to eat the pickles and the coleslaw." And we all know about the causes Patti would take on during her time. I could barely keep my own life straight here, and she would be charging out, saving a duck, walking a swan across the road. She would be out there watering the plants, yelling at somebody because the plants weren't watered. She would write letters to Congress. She would even complain to Leo about the use of the cleaning supplies upstairs. And while she was off fighting the world, I was back in my office assuring the dog groomer that she'll remember to keep her appointment with Speedy tomorrow, and that he won't have to call her at home. I remember once when Norma asked me if we were putting her tablecloths to good use. We told her they were. We told her that Patti was using them to keep the wind from coming through her window in the office. She laughed and told me that Patti always found a way to make use of what was around her. And you're not kidding, Norma. Just the other day, I had a conversation with Leo about how we were going to get the blonde hair off the sofa that Norma donated to the upstairs.
I shed my vote.
That's And Patti, as all of you know, was always great at keeping me informed about what was going on around the library. I always knew when Michelle, Leticia, or Mitra were going to be breaking, or if they were even here. But we do have similar behavior patterns. Both of us are very good at taking time off, but we're horrible at letting people know we're doing it. And forget about the other duties of being a director. Kathy's real full-time job was keeping up with Patti's easy labor.
That's the truth.
Bill, you're going to have your hands full now. But I want to thank you all for listening to me as I did this, and I want to just say seriously and sincerely, I'm going to miss seeing Patti every day. Well, at least the 3 times a week. I have been blessed to work side by side with someone who is not only my coworker and friend, but also my family. I wish you the best of luck and all the happiness in the world. And as we remember the sinking of the Titanic on this day, Patti, I promise I will now be able to hear when the band stops playing, because the band won't be drowned out by the sound of laughter.